"50 years of bilateral relations, President Buhari expresses satisfaction, acknowledges China's support in defense and infrastructural development."
We will pass the PIB, but we will ensure that businesses here get a very competitive environment.
National Assembly resumes plenary after recess. Petroleum Industry Bill tops priority legislation. The federal government thumbs up progress on name registration.
When it comes to data protection regulation, we are in the forefront in Africa today.
And more names go into APC's register as revalidation exercise continues across Nigeria. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. Michael Olaleye joins me from Lagos, and in Enugu, Mena Okobasi. We'll begin from the presidential villa, where President Muhammadu Buhari has written to his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of bilateral ties between Nigeria and the People's Republic of China. In the letter, President Buhari expressed satisfaction with the progress made so far and thanked China for its support in the defense matters and infrastructural development of Nigeria, among others. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, the president said China has been working with Nigeria and other African countries to safeguard the lives and health of our citizens, adding new dimensions to our friendship, and acknowledged that Chinese support has tremendously strengthened our effort against the pandemic. He also rejoiced with Chinese people across the world as they commence celebrations marking the new Chinese Year of the Ox on February 12 this year. And to the legislature, where the confirmation of the new service chiefs, consideration of the Electoral Act's Amendment Bill, and the Petroleum Industry Bill will be among the immediate preoccupation of the National Assembly when it reconvenes on Tuesday, 9th of February 2021. President of the Senate, Ahmed, Lawan, stated this during an interaction with State House and Senate correspondent. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports.
Plenary in both chambers of the National Assembly on Monday, 21st December 2020 was the last for the year, and the passage of the 2021 appropriation bill was the reason for the special sessions. 6 weeks after, the legislators are expected back to the chambers. Confirmation of the newly appointed service chiefs and some bills have been scheduled for immediate consideration. This includes the Constitution Amendment, Electoral Act Amendment, and the Petroleum Industry Bills.
To pass the various provisions or bills for the alteration of the various provisions of the Constitution.
The Petroleum Industry Bill, we are committed to passing it this year. We are going to find a mixture of obeying non-pharmaceutical control of the virus.
The Petroleum Industry Bill, conceived during the Olusegun Obasanjo administration in 2000, which has the potential to reform Nigeria's oil and gas sector, open up the industry, attract investors, and give adequate attention to host communities, has struggled to see the light of the day for more than a decade. Its courtship with the 6th Assembly did not go beyond second reading. The 7th Assembly passed it late into the Goodluck Jonathan administration and was not assented to, while the 8th Assembly broke the bill into 4 versions and passed the governance version, but did not receive presidential assent as well due to some critical observations made by the executive.
I'm very, very optimistic this will pass this time out. That's the advantage of collaborating with the executive with mutual respect. You can do a lot more for citizens.
The corrections having been effected, the 9th Assembly is poised against all odds to break the jinx and pass the bill into law, as it has passed second reading at the moment and has also been subjected to public hearing.
We will pass the PIB, but we will ensure that businesses here get a very competitive environment, that they are able to make profits and stay and even invest more.
There is the need to quickly pass the PIB within the window of 30 years that we have before the world goes away from hydrocarbons to renewables.
The enactment of the Petroleum Industry Bill into law is long overdue. It has seen Nigeria incur losses from regulatory uncertainties in the sector, with some individuals and companies taking advantage of the legal loopholes. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And talking politics, activities for the conduct of the 2023 general elections have taken off at the INEC headquarters, Abuja, with a 2022 to 2026 strategic plan committee inaugurated by the chairman of the INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Mia Ogidi reports that the INEC National Commissioner, Ahmed is the chairman of the committee.
Scenes like this are expected on the 6th of November 2021 governorship election in Anambra State, Ekiti and Osun States in 2022, and the general elections on the 23rd of February 2023. A document that will align and realign all the activities is crucial. So, 2022 to 2026 Strategic Plan Committee, 15 members, 10 points of reference, commissioned for a 40-day mission.
This plan will form the basis, as I said, for the formulation of the election project plan for the 2023 general election. It will also help the Commission to identify all events, programs, and actions that need to be implemented before the 2023 general election.
The other issue that is recurrent is how to align this plan, the strategic plan, to the budgeting and financial cycles of the Commission.
Sitting starts immediately for members, and for non-members, back to the office, waiting for 19th of March 2021, when the document will be ready. Mia Ogidi, NTA News.
In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has continued its revalidation and registration exercise across the country. Najatu Tijani has the situation report.
In a symbolic event, the FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello revalidated his APC membership in the presence of party stalwarts and supporters.
It's an opportunity for members of our dear party to show their love for the party and to re-update their records, and more importantly for us to allow new members to come in.
In Kano State, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduji gave assurance of adequate mobilization for massive participation of Kano people in the ongoing membership revalidation and registration exercise.
The biggest democracy in Nigeria. We are expected to produce the largest number of APC followers.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the All Progressives Congress Governors Forum, Saliu Muhammad Lukman, has challenged leaders to be united in order to protect the achievements of the APC at all levels. Similarly, the North Central Zone also flagged off the APC revalidation exercise.
From 2014 to date, a lot of our young youth have turned 18 and are interested in joining party. So the only way to open the gates for them is to allow for an exercise like this to revalidate and to register new members.
As a political party, the APC is aspiring to have a situation where whoever emerges the standard bearer of the party for the 2023 presidential election will be able to sustain the legacies of President Muhammadu Buhari. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. Let's take time out to bring you some messages. The news returns shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back. The Federal Ministry of Education is making an effort to upgrade the country's 110 unity schools to standards in tune with emerging global trend. As a prelude to the agenda, a 4-day meeting between the ministry and principals of all unity schools is underway in Abuja on how the restructuring of the education system is going to meet up with the requirements of the present challenges. Issues such as living with the new normal occasioned by COVID-19, ascendancy of digital age, ICT and e-learning took center stage.
To further achieve the objectives of quality education for all, we need the collective support, cooperation, and sincere commitment of all our key players, especially you, our principals at the Federal Unity Colleges.
We also need upgrading of our ICT facilities with internet access to meet the needs of these challenging times.
We as administrators, we have to force the students on a daily basis to make sure that they observe the COVID-19 protocols.
The principals are expected to key into the ministry's vision, Education for Change, a ministerial strategic plan to further improve the performance of the sector and the overall development of the country. Now, finding a common front against Nigeria's enemies across ethnic and religious lines should be the goal of all Nigerians for the country to tackle its security, economic and social challenges. This was the submission of Governor David Umahi of Abuja State during his official visit to Jigawa State for the inauguration of Township Roads Project at Babura local government area, the country home of Governor Muhammad Badari Abubakar. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
Peace, we preach love, we preach unity, we preach one Nigeria. Nothing can divide us as long as this nation is concerned.
Governor David Umahi says the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable, hence political leaders must stand united to address the perceived unhealthy inter-ethnic conflict caused by shared sentiments and stereotyping of one group of citizens against the other. He described his coming to Jigawa State as a positive move to reinvigorate the long-standing cordial relationship between the southeast and the northern region.
All over every part of Nigeria, you have good people, you have bad people. But criminality will never be ascribed to any particular tribe or religion. So we assure you that those of your people that are living with us, we are making every effort to safeguard them.
He is the leader in the southeast that comes out to say we are not in support of those people trying to create war in this land.
And street lights is fourth in the series of similar exercise carried out by 3 other governors in less than 5 months. Leaders of Igbo community in Jigawa State also witnessed the events, emphasizing the need for stronger unity among Nigerians to aid national development. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Harmony is key to societal peace and development. This necessitated the inauguration of Plateau State Inter-Religious Council by Governor Simon Lalong. Priscilla Gurumnan reports.
The inauguration of the 49-member Interreligious Council is part of government's effort towards mitigating against any form of violence. For the Plateau State government, it is matching words with action towards the promotion of culture of interfaith dialogue as a viable mechanism for peaceful coexistence, mutual understanding and religious tolerance in the state.
We have a golden opportunity to open a new leaf by consolidating on the gains of our efforts within the last 6 years.
In their submissions, scholars emphasized the need for religious harmony among adherents of various religions.
Achieving peaceful coexistence requires social cohesion. Dialogue between them should aim at addressing common problems for the common good of the society. And we thank our governor for providing us the enabling environment to enable us succeed.
The council members are former Kokin President Reverend Dr. Pandam Yamsat as chairman, with Emir of Wasi, Muhammad Sambo Haruna, as the co-chairman. Meanwhile, the state has commemorated the 3rd Plateau Day of Forgiveness and Reconciliation with prayers for peace and development of the state and nation. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Inbound travelers who have violated Nigeria's COVID-19 travel protocols will be liable to prosecution and imprisonment. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, says this has become necessary to protect the nation from the importation of new strains of COVID-19 found in other climes. That reports will come in the course of the bulletin. Now, let's quickly tell you that the 2,000 COVID-19 marshals saddled with the responsibility of sensitizing people and enforcement of coronavirus protocols in Kano have begun in earnest. This followed spike in the number of cases and deaths recently recorded in the state and how the public is downplaying the severity of the second wave. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports.
I believe corona will not come anywhere close to me.
Indeed, the statistics of the new confirmed cases of novel coronavirus in Kano State showed that the deadly virus is back. Experts, however, believe the current wave is 3 times higher and fatal than it was in the past. To make the situation more worrisome, many residents in the city live in denial. It is on account of this that the state government resorted to the establishment of COVID-19 marshals who began sensitizing and educating public on the prevalence of the virus, going around with sanitizers and handing out face masks to people on major roads, house to house, and markets. This is the right thing to do. Wear your masks.
It's really good now because it's really serious for COVID-19, so we have to be careful.
In the same vein, Kano State Chief Judge Justice Nur Segir Umar has inaugurated 21 face masks mobile courts who are given the powers to adjudicate on any violations of wearing of masks in the state. Where 25 persons were arrested, they will have to pay a fine of 5,000 naira or face 6 months imprisonment. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Karai, NTA News.
Batara Yiben's report on PTF briefing on COVID-19 is now ready.
The PTF says violation of international travel protocols and presentation of false COVID-19 tests by travelers are getting on the increase and threatening efforts at containing the pandemic in the country.
We have sanctioned the publication of an additional 100 passports. These 100 passport holders will not be able to travel for the next 6 months using this travel document. The simple reason is that they have put the entire nation at risk.
And they were reported to have jumped quarantine. We are taking the necessary step to ensure that these people are prosecuted. In the meantime, the PTF will continue to monitor compliance by all international airlines and approved laboratories and take necessary action on travel advisories for national interest and greater public safety.
So far, no case of the B1351 COVID-19 strain dominant in South Africa has been detected in Nigeria, which gives the PTF confidence that the AstraZeneca vaccines being expected will be potent for the Nigerian population.
From what we have seen globally, most of the circulating viruses are still susceptible to the effect of the vaccine, and the vaccine is efficacious against those viruses.
Albeit, we're going to insist that those vaccines have WHO emergency use listing and that NAFDAC certifies them as safe and effective for use in Nigeria.
And then an update on the National Sports Festival.
We're mindful of the COVID-19 second wave. And of course, the issue of the cost implication of the postponement. So it's been decided that the sports festival will still hold, but no longer starts this 14th of February. A futuristic date in April will be announced.
The PTF assures Nigerians that elaborate plans are in place for successful rollout of vaccines as soon as they arrive the country. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Still talking health, BUA, one of Africa's largest conglomerates, has paid for 1 million doses of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines for Nigeria through the AfriXim vaccine program in partnership with Cacovid. The vaccine, to be delivered by next week, will be the first delivery to Nigeria since the COVID-19 vaccines became available. A statement from BUA says the vaccines will be distributed free to Nigerians at no cost. Philanthropist and founder of BUA, Abdul Samad Rabiu, thanked the president of the AfriXim Bank, Dr. Benedict Orama, for making the purchase possible, and the Nigerian Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele for coordinating the process through the Cacovid private sector partnership. He said the BUA decided to secure these 1 billion vaccines by paying the full amount for the vaccines because it became available only last week through AfriXim. He expresses the hope that priority will be given to frontline workers who have committed their lives to managing the pandemic. Abdul Samad Rabiu said BUA is committed to purchase 5 million doses for Nigeria as soon as they become available through the same arrangement. The federal government distributes care and maintenance items to persons of concern. This and more as we join Michael in Lagos Network Center.
Thank you, Kene. The federal government is now relenting in its quest to ensure that the welfare of refugees, migrants, and internally displaced persons, as well as persons with special needs, are adequately catered for. This was showcased at the flag-off of distribution of care and maintenance items to persons of concern in Lagos. Dana Ajali reports.
They are made up of various groups and students from special schools located in Surulere local government area of Lagos State. Their joy knew no bounds as they went home with various food items and other valuables.
Big thank you to federal government of Nigeria for remembering the less privileged people.
We received 100 kg bag of maize and 100 kg bag of millets.
May God continue to bless you in every ways of your life.
Like other beneficiaries, this young man, Karim Ishola, a student of Bethesda Home for the Blind, expressed gratitude to the federal government for the gesture.
We are so much delighted to know that even in this great pandemic, we are in their plans.
Zonal Director, Southwest, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Margaret Ukegu, urged well-meaning Nigerians to support the federal government to continually put smiles on the faces of the needy.
We do a lot of trainings, we do empowerment trainings, and then we even empower them after the training. Wants to ensure that our persons of concern are adequately taken care of.
To be able to sustain their livelihoods, to be able to improve upon their lives, and this is what we have been doing.
I believe by God's grace, after the education, we are giving help. And I believe already we have been doing something like that. But we will not relent, we still do more.
The gesture is expected to be replicated in various states across the country. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The subsequent effects of coronavirus gave rise to the executive order mandating Nigerians to comply with the safety protocols as preventive measures. As Nigeria currently battles the second wave, Lindenike takes a look at the role of the people in curtailing the virus.
When the nation came out of total lockdown, new sets of guidelines were clearly spelled out and backed with enabling law, making it compulsory for Nigerians to stay safe. They include washing of hands, use of sanitizer, wearing of face mask, and social distancing. Sadly today, safety habits are ignored, which explains the daily spike in figures. As at now, Lagos remains the epicenter of the disease, yet a large number of residents go about their businesses as though there is no killer virus in circulation.
People no longer give chance for anything again. You go to the market, you see everybody loitering around.
I see people organize parties. The organized wedding party, very good birthday party.
Commercial buses, for instance, convey 100% passenger capacity, even with hike in fares.
They give them warning before that they be not less than, maybe the bus that carries 7, there should be less than 4. But now they don't even follow the rules.
And that's when we try to curtail the effects of transport sector being the ones spreading this COVID.
Clubhouses, event centers, and other public facilities also care less as they admit more than the specified number of persons. Although the police have been hunting down violators, this disturbing increase in positive cases has forced the state government to take stiffer actions.
Take personal responsibility. And we'll continue to say, if you need not take a trip, if you need not go to somewhere, please stay back. Use other means of communication.
Medical experts have continued to urge Nigerians to take responsibility for their safety, while some others are suggesting more sanctions against offenders.
The distance is 2 meters apart, and we've got to learn that as Lagosians. Keep your distance. You, as a person who doesn't want to catch COVID, be conscious of who is around you and tell somebody who is getting too close to you, please practice social distancing.
Even if we don't have a mutant that is more variously contagious, we will continue to see increasing number. So we do need to reduce parties or stop partying. We can do Zoom parties. We can, of course, also do several different ways of meeting.
It is widely believed that adherence to COVID-19 protocols remains the sure remedy aside the vaccines. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports with Kane shortly after this break.
Thank you for rejoining us. A losing streak continues at the equities market as millions of Nigerians access economic sustainability plan and COVID-19 stimulus packages. Let's now join Musa Abubakar here for details on business news. You're on.
Thank you, Kenneth. Federal ministers and heads of agencies are reporting further progress in the implementation of the economic sustainability plan of the Buhari administration. A statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President, Lalong, says they presented today a report at the meeting of the Economic Sustainability Committee, presided by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo. Highlights include the release of 37 billion naira for the Survival Fund, covering such schemes like 50,000 naira payroll support for 3 months to more than 300,000 beneficiaries, one-time grants of 30,000 naira to about 100,000 artisans, and 100,000 business name registrations paid for by the federal government, amongst other intervention. Now, the bills have continued to trend after 5 days of consecutive losing streak last week. The all-share index for today closed negative. It depreciated by 0.34% to close 41,564.31 basis point, with market capitalization at 21.7 trillion naira. A total of 340.2 million shares worth 2.6 billion naira were traded in 5,251 deals at the end of the day's transaction. The most sought-after stocks for the day were Union Bank Nigeria, FBN Holdings, and Access Bank. Well, that's business news. Over to you, Bene.
Thank you, Musa. Thanks indeed. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Ali Pantami, has expressed satisfaction with the progress made so far in the registration and enrollment of Nigerians for national identity numbers. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson reports that the minister made this known after paying a working visit to some of the mobile network operators in Abuja.
From one center to the other, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Ali Pantami, alongside his teammates, examined ongoing enrollment activities.
This is when they come here for enrollment.
The interactions between the team and the enrollees, as well as the enrollment staff, informed the minister's appraisals that all is going well.
What I have seen is really encouraging, because in all the centers we have visited, we allowed our citizens and the enrollees to comment. They only commented positively. So this is an encouragement to all of us. However, there is room for improvement.
Pantami, while stressing the importance of National Identity Number, NIN, reiterated the need to replace Bank Verification Number, BVN, with NIN.
BVN is applicable only to those who have bank account. But National Identity Number is for each and every citizen and legal resident in the country. It is the primary database that each and every institution should make reference to. That is why when it comes to data protection regulation, we are in the forefront in Africa today.
With more mobile networks and private operators opening up centers for the exercise, the number of successful enrollees are expected to increase in the coming days. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Ahead of the flag-off of the ground-breaking ceremony for the Kano rail line project, construction work has started at one of the communities in Katsina State where the rail line will pass through. Oyinaya Kalwaka reports.
This is Kwarintama, a remote village of majorly farmers in Katsina local government, Katsina State. It is one of the villages that the line for the Kano railway project will pass through. With equipment rolled out, the quiet village is now busy with activities. For the locals, they watch with keen excitement and hope. We are very happy about this project. This is development for us. This project will be of benefit to us, our children and grandchildren. The Kano Maradi Railway project, passing through 3 states of Kano, Jigawa, Katsina, Maradi in Niger Republic, is designed to pass close to major cities, towns and villages without dividing them. Uina Kalo Oka, NTA News.
And to judicial matters now, where Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered that the rearrangement of former Abia State Governor Ojo Zocalo and an alleged 7.1 billion naira laundering charges be put on hold pending the resolution of the legality of the retrial. Justice Ekwo, in a ruling in an ex parte application by Kano, also granted him leave to challenge the legality of the retrial over same charges. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chungwaba has more.
Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court has temporarily halted the retrial of the former Abia State Governor Ojo Zocalo over alleged 7.1 billion naira corruption charges. Ruling on an ex parte application filed by the former Abia State Governor seeking the leave of court to file a motion against his retrial, Justice Ekwo said the Senate Chief Whip has placed sufficient materials of value before the court to enable him secure permission for judicial review of his trial in charges in which he had been tried, convicted and sent to Kuje prison in Abuja, where he spent some months. Justice Ekwo, in addition, granted him permission to apply for order of perpetual injunction against the federal government through the EFCC to prohibit his retrial to avoid suffering double jeopardy. He consequently gave Ojo Zocalo 7 days within which to file and serve EFCC all processes he intends to use to challenge the legality of the trial. The matter comes up on the 23rd of February for mention.
This order is just to give us permission to file a motion on notice for the court to determine whether it is fair for EFCC to start trying this man a second time.
The case of money laundering and criminal diversion of funds to the tune of 702 million naira against Doyin Okube, former senior special assistant to former President Goodluck Jonathan, also came up for hearing. In Abuja, Vera Chumuba, NTA News.
Federal government inaugurates Advanced Manufacturing Technology Center in Enugu. Will link up with Mina for details and other stories. Hello, Mina.
Hello, Kene. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. President Muhammadu Buhari has again been applauded for his strides in ensuring that youths in the country are meaningfully equipped through skills acquisition to make them self-reliant and contribute their quota to nation building. The Vice Chairman, National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, Mohammed Haruna, gave the commendation during the inauguration of an Advanced Manufacturing Technology Center at the Scientific Equipment Development Institute, SEDI, Akuke, Enugu State. Chika Ugu has the report.
Inaugurating the ultra-modern Advanced Manufacturing Technology Complex, the Executive Vice Chairman Naseni explained that the manufacturing computer numerical operating machines are to ensure precision, accuracy and speed, adding that the machines will help minimize waste and make production of equipment more effective. He also noted that Neseni will continue to key into federal government's agenda of capacity building.
It's an excellent way of capacity building and development, job creation, and because people train here, they will be able to train others.
Managing Director Sedi said the motive behind the project was born out of the desire to make a modern workshop that will update the engineers and scientists' knowledge in development and manufacturing of products through ICT facilities and latest softwares for engineering.
Since I assumed office as Managing Director of State Enugu, I met a lot of CNC machines laid out all over the workshop. I decided that we should have a modern workshop.
The Vice Chairman Naseni and his entourage took a tour around the facility where some of the machines were put to test and certified functional. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
To drive poverty eradication campaign and promote inclusive socio-economic development across the country, the state ministries of finance, budget and planning have key roles in the actualization process. Let's join Susan for details.
According to a recent United Nations report, Nigeria is one of the 5 countries housing the world's poorest who are living below the poverty line. Beyond the various investment and policy reforms of the federal government aimed at creating employment opportunities by developing local content and ultimately reversing the nation's poverty index. This meeting of commissioners for finance, budget and planning from across the country also aims at generating new knowledge to help practitioners drive government's agenda. The Enugu State Deputy Governor, on behalf of Governor Ugwuanyi, charged the participants to evolve new strategies that will change the narrative. Joining the meeting virtually, Minister of State Finance, Budget and Planning expressed confidence in the various policy reforms of the federal government.
The Nigerian state has been faced with various economic, social, political and developmental problems in all sectors of the economy. In order to tackle these challenges, the Nigerian government in March 2010 signed into law the Nigerian Local Content Act.
Other stakeholders and development partners are also confident that the value networking and knowledge transfer among peers would evolve strategies that will pave the way forward. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And that's it from Enugu. The news continues with Kano in Abuja after this break.
Welcome back. Let's go to sports. The 20th National Sport Festival NSF, originally meant to take place in Benin City, Edo State, from February 14th through February 24th, 2021, has been moved to April. Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sandra Dara, made a disclosure at the media briefing by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. The February 14th to February 24th, 2021 date for the multi-sports competition was approved by Extraordinary National Council on Sports, NCS. He said the reason for the new date was based on the signs of the virulent nature of the second wave of COVID-19. Nigeria to compete at the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. Details and more from our sports desk.
Welcome to Sports Update. We begin with football, where FC Ifeanyi lost against Kano Pillars in a matchday 9 fixture of the Nigeria Professional Football League at the Adoke Amiesimaka Stadium in Port Harcourt. Away from football, the International Olympic Committee has formally invited Nigeria and a few other nations to participate in the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics. Nigeria's inclusion in the quadrennial tournament is an aftermath of our outstanding debut at the Pyeongchang Winter Games in 2018.
The Nigerian Olympic Committee, who sent the largest delegation from Africa to the last Olympic Winter Games. Dear athletes and friends from all national Olympic committees, we look forward to seeing you in Beijing in exactly 1 year from now for the opening ceremony of the Olympic Winter Games Beijing 2022.
Parts of the gymnasium hall of the Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna has been gutted by fire. The inferno, which affected the changing room areas and adjoining offices, occurred Monday morning with the cause unascertained. A committee has been set up to investigate the cause. In tennis, Novak Djokovic began the defense of his Australian Open title by dropping just 6 games in a dominant 6-3, 6-1, 6-2 win over France's Jeremy Chardy. Austrian third seed Dominic Thiem, German sixth seed Alexander Zverev, and Australia's Nick Kyrgios also won day one. Meanwhile, in the women's competition, Serena Williams launched her latest bid for a record equaling 24th Grand Slam with a 56-minute 6-1, 6-1 demolition of Laura Sigismund at the Rod Laver Arena. And that's it on Sports Update. I am Tamara Ibiwe.
Thank you, Tamara. A high-powered delegation from the presidency led by the Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, has condoled with the family of former Minister of Information and one of the foundation fathers of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Prince Tony Momo. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
In the delegation to commiserate with the family of the Auchi-born prince and chairman of one of the legacy parties that formed the All Progressives Congress, APC, Tony Momo, was governor of Yobe State and chairman APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Mai Malabuni. Others are Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, Minister of State for Environment, Sharon Ikeazo, and other top government officials from the State House. The Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Gambari, described late Tony Momo as a nationalist and a true patriot whose remarkable track records will remain indelible for generations to come.
The President is deeply saddened by the loss of a friend, a partner in the formation of the party that is now the governing party in the country.
He was a chairman of one of the legacy parties that metamorphosed into APC, and he has contributed immensely and has always been there for the party.
Thank the President and his cabinet members for sending such high-powered delegation to come and say their last goodbye to late Prince Tony Momo.
Prince Tony Momo died at the age of 81, leaving behind a wife and 4 children. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
A quick check on weather prospect for tomorrow.
Hello out there and glad to have you with us. We expect clearer skies for Tuesday. It should be sunny and dry. Over the north, we expect some level of haziness over the central part of the region. Pushing down south, it should be cloudy with lots of sunshine, leading to increased temperatures across the country with some level of discomfort to the south and the southern parts of the central states. By evening, we expect a few rains over parts of Lagos, southern Ogun Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and the coastal parts of Cross River State. And that's our bit from here. Thank you for watching.
And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching. My name is Kenan Ima Aburike. Good night.